104.7 The Cave.
I want to be in Studio 54 with my shirt off, dude. Like all those guys.
That's what we're doing today. This is Dark Side of the Stream. Today, we're discussing my pick for the documentary, which was I Feel Love, Donna Summer on HBO
love
Max.
to love you, baby.
So we're gonna keep this going. I don't even know if this is recording into the video. We might look like complete idiots because we're like dancing.
Might look at your shirt. Look at wait a minute.
I came dressed up.
No, look at your
I
shirt.
came ready to work today and to talk disco. And of course, we are going to talk about the lovely, the talented Donna Summer. The documentary is on HBO Max. And while we fade this out, Donna Summer, I love you to death. God, she's so gorgeous. And the crazy thing about Donna Summer is that she just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like literally, like all of a sudden, it was just like, boom, she had this hit and she's a queen of disco.
Yeah.
Jay, what did you think about from the perspective of a hard rocking dude like you? How did you feel watching this documentary?
I liked it. I didn't know much about her. All that I really knew was like, the Last Dance, hot stuff. I didn't know this pre stuff. And dude, like, yeah, it was like a precursor to techno,
Some of the stuff she did, like some of the producers she worked with. Yeah, we'll get into that too.
And man, I'll tell you, when I was watching it and you'd see like Studio 54, all the guys with no shirts dancing around, I would have crushed it at Studio 54. I was born too late.
You probably wouldn't have survived it, to be quite honest.
I'm doing just cocaine and partying with all those guys.
I don't know if you would have survived.
Some of the guys were lady boys. Some of the guys were,
I honestly do not think you would have.
I would have been right there, shirt off, hair froed out, and I don't know.
I don't know if you'd have survived it. I don't think I would have survived it, to be quite honest with you. But it was really, really well done. Obviously, Donna Summer passed away due to cancer a number of years ago. So this documentary was actually put together by her daughters. One from her first.
By the way, they
marriage
made
and
some beautiful children.
Oh God, yeah, Donna was gorgeous.
Her children are incredibly gorgeous.
But what's crazy is that this woman, I mean, some of the song, and it's so funny. Like when I DJ sometimes, and I get in this disco space, I love to throw that stuff on. But while I'm playing it, I'm like, man, this stuff is so sexually explicit.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Right out the gate, I was watching her that love to love,
and she's like humping the mic.
She was stealing my moves. She was doing the Jay Stevens moves. I wiggle my hips with these ladies. Moves, yeah, she was stealing my moves.
You stole her moves, my dude.
Subliminally, I didn't never see her do it till yesterday when I watched this thing. But
it's so funny that there was probably like a 6 or 7 year old Jay Stevens like at home.
I must have got scarred somewhere.
Saw that, and he was just like dancing.
It imprinted in my mind.
Imprinted years later in my mind. He was dancing, thinking he was doing these moves that were his moves, but in reality,
I do it every weekend. It drives the women crazy. You hold the mic stand, you do a little bit of this. That was what she was doing.
But like it comes down to, it all started out with a woman, which is hilarious. And that's what we're discussing today. Dark Side of the Stream. Donna Summer next on 104.7 The Cave. .7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. It is Dark Side of the Stream, episode 149, discussing I Feel Love, the documentary about Donna Summer on Max. Now, as we mentioned, this woman is known for really two things: disco and or extremely sexually explicit lyrics. Some of the songs are.
I didn't know.
Oh, mama. Oh,
yeah.
But it all started. She was a church singer, gospel girl,
right? Little church girl.
And that's how it started.
And kind of in the artsy community, and just exploded, man.
She did the gospel thing, and then kind of realized that if she wanted to go anywhere, she needed to, and then eventually found herself in Europe and went to a photo shoot in Germany and ended up becoming actually kind of an it girl in the area because there weren't a lot of African Americans, especially tall, beautiful African Americans in Germany at that time. So she was sought after, getting a lot of modeling work and taking photos. That was when she ended up having her first kid with, was he like a photographer or something like that?
I think he's a producer.
Yeah, something like that.
Record producer. German record
guy,
producer.
Sven or something like that. She would do this and didn't really cut through until she started working with these producers who she would end up working with for the majority of her career, which, back to what you said, proto-electronic stuff.
Yeah, very much guys, like electronica that I listen to today, man.
Yeah,
techno.
The techno stuff that they were doing. I mean, it fits into disco, but it's all proto house stuff that you hear all the time now.
With just like a little singing riff.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's
Man.
crazy. It's so far ahead of her time.
And she had the same haircut as Rick James for a while.
She
That's so sweet, dude.
The bang thing.
The bang.
I think Rick
the
James.
long fro with bangs, dude. That's the look, bro.
I think Rick James had Donna Summer's
That's
haircut.
the look.
Either way, we'll talk about more in her life as we continue Dark Side of the Stream next on 104.7 The Cave.
Love to love you, baby.
Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio discussing I Feel Love, Donna Summer on Dark Side of the Stream. So we talked about her start as a gospel singer. We talked about her working with producers that really kind of were forward thinking and helped her get so many hits. And that's what I want to talk about next. There was a part in that documentary where like every Grammy award that she won, soul, singles, music. Man. I mean, it was like, dude, I have Donna Summer records, more specifically the disco stuff, but like for decades she was getting Grammys.
And she was getting ripped off by the record company.
Ended up getting that corrected.
Ended up suing them. That's massive, dude, right?
And I believe she won.
Yeah, she got a settlement, yeah.
You know, the thing that also is, and they definitely talked about it, was after years and years and years of doing that and being extremely sexually explicit, she kind of turned her back on some of the people that helped her get to where she was. And that was the gay community. I mean, for right out of the gate, if you were in disco, you definitely had to have the backing of the gay community because they were the ones that were playing the records
guys
in
with
the
the shirts off. It's 54, Studio 54.
So
when she kind of got like born again and
got born again Christian and
kind of started getting preachy,
got a little preachy, and then the gay community felt like she had turned their back on him.
Yeah, they feel like that.
To an extent, they weren't wrong. I mean,
she said that Adam and Steve,
like that whole deal. Like, I mean, you are, and again, we don't get political. You believe what you want, whether that's cool or not. It's up to you. That's your call. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. But if, for example, after years and years and years of being on this radio station, and I've been telling you like how much I love Pink Floyd and the Beatles and stuff, and then I see some kid out on the street with a Pink Floyd shirt on, and I say, "Man, you're garbage. Pink Floyd sucks."
Yeah, right.
Like, I know that's not the same thing. You know, I'm not calling out some people for their life choices or whatever, but it literally is like, wait a minute, hold on, dude. You've literally made a career talking about how this stuff is incredible, and then you're going to turn around and turn on the guy that's
that's why Alice Cooper blows people's minds a lot of times. Because he's so freaky and scary stage show, but then he'll preach to you. He'll preach to you.
Even worse, to be honest with you.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I mean, like, look at some of the records and some of the songs he won't even play that he wrote because of his current beliefs. Now, again, that's your choice, and if you want to change, and people change, and people grow. But I think in that regard, especially in regards to Donna Summer in that situation, I think she should have at least looked at the writing on the wall and said, you know what, I may believe this in my home and how I live my life, but it doesn't still give her a reason to tell someone they're wrong in living their life. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the point. And I think that's why a lot of people took issue with it, whether or not she was right or wrong. You know, that's not your decision to make, and you're not supposed to make people feel bad about that. As long as they're not hurting anyone, who cares? Who cares? Doesn't matter. If Jay and I want to make out after this video is over, which we will, that's up to us.
Wow, I would have wore a better shirt.
And we will definitely be listening to Donna Summer while we do it. We'll talk our reviews of this documentary next Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. Now you know why I dressed up today is because I wanted Jay to make up with me.
He's asking me to prom. He's asking me to prom.
After we are over. But as we discussed the documentary I Feel Love by Donna Summer, how many lines of cocaine would you give this documentary?
Well, I would give it I was going to give it more just because personally, I like
when you put it that way.
I like when I learn something about. I like what. I knew nothing about. I knew nothing about the artist, and I learned a lot. But taking my personal thing out of there, it didn't reinvent the wheel. It was a good documentary. I liked how it was a lot of when she was talking, you would just see just a little video of her just doing like this, and it was just her talking like in the corner of your ear. I listened to it with headphones too, which is very cool. They did a lot of stereo mixing. I don't know, three and a half shirtless guys at Studio
You
54.
want to call it lines? I say 4 lines. I thought it was great. I love disco. I love that era of music. Even though it can obviously have a bad taste in some rockers' mouths. If you're a
Disco's
musician, you
good.
like music, you like to dance. I don't know how the
Disco's
hell you
good,
can't
man.
like it,
Disco's
but
good.
again, it's all subjective what you like or not. And I thought it was very interesting to see her life behind the scenes because she was a very private person. And outside of those hits, I didn't know anything about her,
it's
man.
really nice.
And I know
It's
Donna
nice.
Summer. So that was very informative. If you're a musician and you like music, definitely check it out. It's on Max. And I thought it was well worth my time. So, Jay, what are we
It was
watching
good.
next week?
Well, I think we'll go back to some weirdness. How to be a cult leader.
Oh, God, no.
You know, I feel like
I knew you were going to pick this
well,
one too.
I feel like I'd be a really good cult leader. I really
It depends.
I've watched almost all of this already, and all the traits they speak of, I have all those traits. So we'll get into that.
It depends on who your audience is and what you want them to believe. But
I'm very
yeah.
charismatic and talent. You know, people like to hear what I say or do, and
I've
this
already
is cult leader stuff.
full disclosure. I've watched 2 or 3 of these episodes so
okay,
far.
we're about
so
this
we're
far in.
about the same level in,
and you know you were thinking of Jay Stevens when they
already have my
when they guy had his guitar and he's singing,
Yeah,
Manson's singing and Koresh is singing. Yep, dude.
so bad. Oh God, Manson's recording.
I either missed
such a
my
bad
calling
songwriter,
or we're
man.
forming a cult next week.
So mad. And it's crazy. It just goes to show you how crazy it is. He couldn't write songs, but he could convince all these people to kill somebody. Either way, we'll talk about that as a cult leader documentary.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. How to be a cult leader. Your homework assignment, Dark Side of the Stream. Watch us every Thursday.
Just us telling people to watch it, that's basically us forming a cult. 10 people at least are going to go and watch this now. And that's the start of a cult.
I don't think I want
and that makes 12 of us.
I don't want that.
Thank you for joining my cult.
I don't want that responsibility.
Free pizza in my cult.
Yeah. And you can watch it without a shirt on anytime you want.
Yes.
You don't have to pay a cover. Again, watch us on Facebook Live every Thursday at 9 a.m. or listen to us 9 a.m., 6 p.m. on 104.7 The Cave. I am Mike the Intern. This is Jay Stevens reminding you
Join our cult.
watch movies so you don't have to, or you can join his cult. Either way, it's Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7
I'm doing
The
it.
Cave.
I'm doing it, man.